Hi, Emily. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to be interviewing you and a couple of other interns just so we can get like a where are they now type video.
Awesome. Yeah, well, thanks so much for asking me to join. Always happy to connect with folks at CELF and, folks I've met before. So I can introduce myself, what I do right now. So my name is Emily. I am currently a fleet solutions specialist at Highland Electric Fleets in Massachusetts. So at Highland, we work with school districts to plan for a transition to electric school buses. So part of our offering includes providing school districts with the buses and with planning on how to install their infrastructure and contracting with the school district for 10 or 15 years to ensure that their buses are working properly and being utilized in their fleet. And I'm more towards the sales side and kind of project development. So I'm kind of talking to school districts initially and gauging their interest and planning for coming up with a plan for them to transition their school bus fleet to electric and collaborating with different stakeholders that need to actually get these projects done. Prior to this role, I've been with Highland Electric Fleets since January, and prior to that, I worked for a property management software company called Appfolio, and I mainly worked on energy reporting and analytics. Their customers for the product that I worked on are big property management companies that are interested in looking at their water and energy usage and tracking their sustainability goals. So again, I did a lot of kind of analytics and energy reporting for them. Prior to that, I was in school and I studied environmental and sustainability sciences.
Okay, so I'm going to get started with the interview questions. So the first one that we have listed here is like, what sparked your initial interest in pursuing a sustainability career / like your focus on energy and electricity?
Sure. So what sparked my interest in the sustainability field? Really, it started when I was in high school. I took a course, an elective social studies course with my AP American history teacher, Mr. Montori at Horace Greeley in Chappaqua. And it was a course called Sustainable Futures. And that kind of just really introduced me to all things in the sustainability field and sparked my interest. And then when I started at Cornell, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I started in arts and sciences school. I, took some general intro classes and I was like, you know what? I really want to pursue this environmentalism, sustainability field. So I ended up switching internally at Cornell to the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, where they had a particular major that I thought would be most fulfilling to me. So I decided to make that switch just after my first semester at school, and then was able to explore a lot of different classes and pursue different internships throughout the semesters and during the summer.
Do you know if CELF impacted your career interests at all?
Yeah, I think CELF did impact my career choices. I think it was my internship at CELF was the first kind of professional internship experience I had in this field, and kind of, I'm just saying sustainability as a general field, environmental education. It was my first experience kind of seeing the possibility. So it really kind of built my foundation for pursuing different types of professional experiences. Even though I'm not kind of working in the environmental education space right now, I think it was really valuable, and just seeing that it was an option and meeting really great people through the organization.
What was your favorite part about working with CELF?
My favorite part about working with CELF was having the opportunity to work with people that were really passionate. I think that a lot of organizations and companies in this field there are a lot of folks that are passionate, but again, this was my first experience in the professional world, seeing people's passion, for environmentalism and for education and working with kids. So it was just really, inspirational to see the folks at CELF.
Do you know in like what specific ways CELF prepared you for your future roles?
So one thing CELF really taught me was the importance of building personal relationships and networking. I think people can tell you that it's really important to network. And I didn't really understand that honestly until I started in my role now. But I do just kind of want to give a shout out to Katie Ginsburg, who is the founder and former executive director of CELF. She is just awesome and very apparent that she's a really good connector and really good at building relationships. So it was like such an honor to be able to see her and learn from her in that space. I've reached out to her several times since I worked at CELF, and she's connected me with a lot of great folks that I'm glad that I was able to bring CELF into my current role.
In addition to like networking and learning how to communicate with others, do you know of any other lessons that you learned with your time at CELF, or just overall skills and tools that you've acquired during your internship?
A skill that was important at CELF and something I learned was to take initiative in the role. And I think that's something I've brought to all my other roles after I worked at CELF. I think if there was something that I was interested in doing or learning about, I could pursue that and work on it at my time at CELF and was supported in that endeavor.
I love that. That's definitely something that I'm learning right now as a current CELF intern. How do you think sustainability can serve as a lens when thinking about possible career choices?
Yeah, I think sustainability is important in determining your career path in the sense that it can be something that drives you and motivates you. I know that in the jobs that I've pursued, I knew I wanted to work for mission-driven organizations that had some sort of sustainability mission, and that was kind of the number one most important thing to me. And in previous roles, I've been able to have that foundation and then kind of figure out exactly what I want to be doing day to day. And I've had, different experiences doing different things, which has been awesome. But, underneath it all is this sustainability draw or connection to that passion.
That's awesome. What advice do you have for current and future interns at CELF? And more largely, if you have any advice for just young people interested in sustainability work or some sort of environmental education role, now that you have been working in your career for a few years, do you have any advice for anybody else?
I think one piece of advice I would provide to anyone who whether they're interested in the sustainability field or not, is to show in all of your professional experiences that you are hardworking and reliable. I think those are really important skills to have in any professional setting, and I think those are sometimes almost underrated, and people really value those as you get kind of further in your career.
Yeah, I love that. That's definitely good advice. Thank you so much for meeting with me. I really appreciate you talking about your experiences and passing down some wisdom to the present and future interns with CELF.
No problem. Thank you so much, Hana.